Greetings, family. Sister Shanice in the house for another edition of Ghana Focus. As you can see, we have our beloved brother Ras Nkrabea in the house. Welcome, welcome, Ras Nkrabea. And wonderful 2024 to you. How are you doing?
Yes, thank you. And the same to you. We're really looking forward to a very exciting 2024. I'm doing fine. And you?
Very well, thank you.
Oh,
yes. So, yeah, equally looking forward to a great, dynamic, and really interesting 2024. And may it be great for Africans all over the world.
That's
Maybe
right.
to see Africa elevated to the levels that we want to see her elevated to. So, those of you who've been following us on Ghana Focus will know that each week we actually focus on a different topic, but we home in from a Ghanaian perspective. And today is not going to be any different. And our topic today is, should Ghanaians celebrate Kwanzaa as opposed to Christmas? Over the generations, Africans all over the world have come to embrace this tradition of celebrating Christmas, which is a Eurocentric holiday. And many are increasingly beginning to question the idea of celebrating Christmas, you know, Father Christmas and this sort of deception and these sort of lies that we're feeding to our children and our nation. And, you know, because it is a Eurocentric holiday, many are beginning to feel that it's promoting white superiority and at the same time, you know, denigrating Africans to a place of inferiority. So is it time to abandon Christmas as an African holiday and maybe celebrate Kwanzaa instead? We put that question to our special guest today, Brother Ras Nkrabea.
Yes, greetings and give thanks to your international viewers. And I wish you all the best for the 2024. For many years now, we have seen where Christmas have been one of the main holidays in these African-oriented countries, not just Ghana, not just other African countries, but all Black countries throughout the world. And we can go far back as even slavery and coming up in terms of how it has impacted in a negative way on African people. So to come to Ghana here now, where there are so many important indigenous holidays, indigenous celebration that are significant to the reality of Africans based on their environment, based on their culture, based on their spirituality. We have so many of them throughout the year, right? And Christmas stands out as the number one in the nation. So it has superseded basically all of those indigenous festivals that have been here for generations, way before Christmas, right? So I was really surprised to see that the people of Ghana have embraced Christmas so strongly. But as a result of colonialism, the Christian influence or invasion and influence, the people have come today to embrace it. And the ministers, the presidents of the countries are also some of the leading people who are propagating this Western Christian value and Christianity all at the same time. So they have contributed a lot to this, because they have the power to define and the power to change so many things that will benefit Ghana and the Ghanaian people. But they are also brainwashed in that sense, that they are not seeing the importance of the indigenous cultures becoming prominent. So we have reached a point right now where, due to diaspora and the return, coming home, it is going to make a difference. It is making a difference, because the ones from the United States in particular are actually celebrating Kwanzaa every year. It's not popular, but I can see where it can become more popular as soon as more diasporans are coming in, and we give it a conscious focus as regards to it moving forward, just like it was in the United States, where even the president of the United States at some point every year, they will come out and give some congratulatory message for Kwanzaa, because of the fact that they have such a large constituency of voters. So we are looking forward for the same thing to happen here. One of the reasons why I'm saying that Kwanzaa should supersede Christmas is due to the fact that we know that it is a religion, it is a religious festival coming all the way from slavery time up until now. And as I said before, the denigrating Africans as a result of introducing those things inside there. And it's not just only Christian, there are many other, Christmas, there are many other holidays that are Eurocentric that we do have, that our people are participating, but Christmas is the biggest one. We recognize that during slavery, or we remember during slavery, that the slaves were in turmoil and fret and worry and stressed out as regards to what happens after Christmas, because during Christmas time, they would sell them or rent them out to the slave masters and even give some of these slaves as gifts to the slave masters. I can remember one of the wives of one of the slave masters was saying, oh, she got a 9-month-old baby as a gift, with the paper saying that this is your gift for Christmas. So this is how they used to trade us and treat us as commodities. There are also those who they would run away during that time. And if they are caught, you know what next? Some of them would be beaten to death. There's also those who used to use the opportunity to have uprisings in Jamaica and other places throughout the world. The constant thing of the slaves trying to think and to figure out what is going to happen to their fate after Christmas in January, because some of them would be sold. Some of them would be sold, some of them would remain with some of the slave masters there, and some of them would have to face all kinds of brutalities. So this was a worrying moment for them, even though they would receive gifts, little petty gifts from the slave masters and so on and so forth. It was just a way of pacifying their conscience by them doing that and giving them gifts. But at the same time, the brutality did not cease, it continues, right? You look at Christmas today, basically it is no different, because it has come out to be a main commercialized issue where capitalism have taken a major part of Christmas. And in a system like this, where there's a major disparity in terms of wealth, the poor people are the ones who feel the brunt of that every Christmas, because some of them don't have money to participate, some of them don't even have food to eat, and somebody will come around and say, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, when it's not merry and happy for them, because they have been suffering the whole year because of this wage slavery, etc., and the role of capitalism in these societies. That is continuing up until now. So when I look at Christmas and I look at the values of Kwanzaa, clearly there is no comparison. Sometimes people say it was to replace Christianity, but I totally disagree. Christmas, but I totally disagree with the fact that it was there to replace Christmas, because there are no comparison. And furthermore, it starts after Christmas and go all the way into the 1st of January. It is necessary for us to embrace Kwanzaa because of the principles, the guidelines, and the values of Kwanzaa. And it's not just for the African continent, it's all across the 6th region of Africa as well. These are the values of Africans throughout. The indigenous cultures in Ghana, they can easily embrace it because this is what they practice and live as indigenous people. So Kwanzaa was taken basically from the indigenous value system, right? Even though we have heard a lot of, I wouldn't say rumors, some of it is facts in terms of the founder, in terms of the fact that he did not practice what he was preaching. And some people tend to use that to not embrace Kwanzaa. But it's important to recognize that the message and the values that Kwanzaa is standing for up until today must be adhered to and must be protected and guarded and used for the future. I can see where it could even be on the front page, the first page of manifestos of our African countries, because this is what they're striving for. When you look at principles of Kwanzaa, that is all that they claim that they want to do for the country in the beginning when they come to, before they come to power. So it is something that could be presented to the governments of Ghana, not just Ghana, but the African continent as a whole, so that they have some strong values to lead forward with that manifesto that they have for the year. We could also look into a situation where we can recommend that the postal stamps of these African countries could recognize Kwanzaa during that time. Because if you can recognize Christmas and give them postal stamp of this white Jesus and Mary and all of that, why can't you do something that was created by Africans born in America, that is related, inspired by the African tradition and culture? So I can see a lot of potential coming from it, and even the economic values of it, because it's all about creativity, right? There are so many aspects of it where the Kwanzaa spirit has brought in so much need for the creative energies of Africans to be exercised around that particular time, that we could utilize that to have some economic power during that time as well. But before I go any further, I would just want to read out the principles basically for especially the children or young people who are listening today, so that they understand the value in Kwanzaa in terms of the seven principles. All right, number one, which is umoja. And that starts it, right? That first one covers all the other six, because without unity, we will not be able to accomplish all the other six that we are going to go into next. So it was clearly designed. I mean, the brother was inspired by African culture and our ancestors to put together these principles and have an holiday that would represent us. So I really give a lot of big respect to the African Americans for them to be able to bring forth this holiday, especially in a hostile situation like what was happening and still happening in the United States of America. Okay, so umoja means unity. It's a Swahili word. It defines Kwanzaa on the Kwanzaa website, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujichakalea, self-determination. This principle refers to defining, naming, creating, and speaking for oneself. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Refer to the uplifting of your community, of our community, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problem, and to solve them together. Ujamaa, cooperative economics. This principle refers to the uplifting our community economically, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Nia, purpose. We must have a purpose. We cannot just be aimlessly going on like that. So Nia means purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kuhumba means creativity. This principle is to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. Imani, which is the final principle, which is faith. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and righteousness and victory of our struggle. So these are basically the 7 principles. And when you compare that to what Christmas is about, the fact that there are so many lies, there are so many deception, when it comes to the Santa Claus issues and the reindeer and the snow and all these different things, which is totally irrelevant to African society, you know, and yet still we have them as symbols in our community. And this is what you talk about when you say menticide, just like genocide. You know, you're actually killing the minds of our people by projecting all these images and storylines and imposing it on our society. So it's important for us to actually recognize what we have and to see the value in it. So I'm all in support of Kwanzaa be given the necessary support for it to become mainstream. And I would suggest that we, as communities who are practicing it, come together and actually take it to Parliament for them to look into that and to also look into the damages of Christianity.
Thank you so much, Brother Ras Nkrabea. You've given us so much to think about. You know, I am definitely sold on the idea of adopting those wonderful principles because, you know, those principles underpin who we are as Africans. And you touched on something really important. Well, so many important points, but one that I'm going to draw out, and that is the fact that how Christmas is actually replacing African traditional cultures. And this is what happens when we take on, you know, another nation's religion. We're also taking on the culture of that nation because within the religion is the culture. So, you know, Christianity is European, is about European culture, European holidays, and, you know, how Europeans behave and conduct their lives. If you take on the Muslim faith, you know, Islam is adopting, you know, the Arab culture, the way the Arabs dress when they pray, how they pray, their posture, you know, that culture, you know, overshadows your own indigenous culture. And this is what happens when we as Africans take on the religions of other nations. It consumes who we are and almost, you know, and it does undermine our own traditional values, and then our own traditional values become inferior to, you know, the religions that we are bowing down and being submissive to. So I think you're absolutely right. It is time now that we adopt a mature approach as Africans and give value to our traditional, to our traditions, because those traditions reinforce our values and reinforce who we are as Africans. I think there's definitely a case there.
Of course.
Support you on that, Brother Ras Nkrabea. Let's hope that many people, many Africans around the world will embrace Kwanzaa in a bigger way than they have done before, that there will be more trainings throughout the year about Kwanzaa. Maybe you know, taking it to the universities and taking it to the schools, children and the young people, you know, get to see the benefits of Kwanzaa, get to understand the principles and begin to adopt it as a way of life. Wow. Any closing remarks before we close out?
Yeah, what I would like to say is that, you know, the government talks about beyond the return, right? And the beyond the return should take into consideration some of our achievements that should be presented to the society, so the society will recognize what we have achieved over the years outside in Babylon. And Kwanzaa is a perfect one for the government to take on and add that to the annual budget that the government has for the celebration of beyond the return. So these are something that we could actually put forth. And as I said before, the diasporans need to participate more in the parliamentary procedures in Ghana in returning, because this is where all the laws are passed and policies are enacted, right? And it would be wonderful to get that holiday here in Ghana, because you have Muslim holiday, you have Christian holiday, you have all these European holidays that are totally irrelevant to the African people. Yet still we have Kwanzaa that is so very important and value so strong and powerful that would strengthen our younger generation as regards to their value system. So I think we have, just like you said, you know, we definitely have a true case. I want to also dedicate this program here today to the Mountaineers group from Birmingham, or they call it Birmingham Strong.
Yes, that's right. No, I'm not eat pork. That's not Birmingham. It's very strong.
Yeah. So I want to congratulate them for the support that we have been, that they have been giving, or we have been giving to each other, and wish them a wonderful 2024.
Thank you so, so much. Family, you heard it. What are your thoughts and opinions? Do post your comments down below underneath the video. And as you can see, we've got our Black History Study course coming up very soon, starting on the 22nd of January. Family, we have been, as researchers, uncovering a phenomenal history that exists here in the UK that we as Africans have that has been almost erased from our memory. So what we are doing on this course that starts on the 22nd of January is we are going to be providing you with a huge amount of knowledge and information about history, African Black British history that goes back tens of thousands of years. Yes, you heard it right. We're going to be revolutionizing your understanding of Black history on this transformational course. Family, there's so much that has been hidden from us, but we are peeling back the layers of the truth behind our existence and contribution towards Britain and the British Isles. So go to Gumroad to check out that course and sign up for it. I'll also post the link in the video underneath. We want to thank our brother Ras Nkrabea again. Ras Nkrabea, do you have any idea about the extent to which Black Britons have a phenomenal role way past enslavement in Britain and the British Isles? Were you taught anything about the role of Africans in Britain prior to enslavement in school, college, or university?
Oh, certainly. We are fully aware that the wealth that was developed by the British came straight out of those people who were enslaved in Britain.
What about pre-slavery? Pre-slavery. How much have you been taught about our existence and our presence and our role in Britain prior to enslavement?
No, it's very limited in terms of the educational aspect. So definitely that to come out, because in most cases when we talk about our situation, we talk about it from a slavery standpoint. When even before that, we have been traveling the world and having impact all across the world, even before these white people even came about. So definitely there's a need for all that information to come out.
Most definitely. And that's what we'll be doing on the course, family. Woo! You are going to be amazed. So to everybody who's thinking of signing up, don't think about it anymore. Just go ahead, go to Gumroad and sign up for the course. Brother Ras Nkrabea, you're leaving us with a lot to think about. Should we be replacing Christmas with Kwanzaa? Family, let us know your thoughts.
Certainly.
Thank you so much, Brother Ras Nkrabea. We look forward to you joining us again on Ghana Focus. Bye for now.